Hey kids, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 3, their finest hour as the United Kingdom. So a lot happened in the last episode. We are finally at war. France is on the verge of falling, and Italy has joined the war. So we've got to pay attention to a few different things at once in this episode. First of all, we've got to keep an eye out for Germany possibly invading Norway. I guess at some point, maybe they'll invade the lowlands, although we shall see. This is a very strange outcome. And then we've also got to try and get as much of the Mediterranean theater wrapped up as possible. Saudi Arabia is our puppet, which is great. We definitely will be wanting to puppet Ethiopia as well. I don't see the point in conquering Ethiopia. They really don't have very many resources or anything. And yeah, I'm also going to prepare to puppet Persia as well, which will give us some good strategic, what are they called, strategic effects. First thing, I'm going to open up some of these tabs here and just take a look at how things are going. So we're influencing Yugoslavia. I think we can stop doing that, to be honest, and I think we can start influencing. Oh, well. I didn't notice that. I guess they're already orienting towards us, so we'll come back and check on this hopefully later, but I'd like to start influencing Romania. I don't want them to join the Allies, but I would rather they not join the Axis. I'm going to give up on Bulgaria. If we get actually both Yugoslavia and Romania, then it's possible that Bulgaria will get conquered by one of them, at least temporarily. That would be cool. Anyway, let's issue some orders. I'm going to focus on the fleet first. We have this transport fleet here. I think it might be a good idea to rebase it to Alexandria. I don't want to go any further because I don't want it to get attacked en route. We have 4 battle fleets now in the Mediterranean. I only have 2 up in the North Sea. So I think we will. Let's just send this guy out here. Put the naval map mode on. I'm going to put 1 battle fleet in this strait here to try and catch anything that comes through. I'm going to put 1 battle fleet in this strait. And then I'm going to put... probably a good idea to send 1 here. Or here, maybe. Because there's a fleet there, and we're going to take that port very quickly. And maybe we'll send 1 there as well. We may lose some ships. I'm not too concerned about that. We have lots of ships to spare. I am going to send the 2nd carrier squadron kind of close at hand, and it will rush in if any of our battle fleets get roughed up. Montgomery's Western Desert Command is ready to go. I am going to maybe try and encircle some units here. I'm going to issue these orders in advance. Got our best leaders there. And we'll encircle those units and try and trap a few there if possible. Using these very fast motorized divisions is going to help with that process. Our officer ratio is 107, so I've set this up here at 10 so that we should be able to gradually regain that. Also get some diplo points, slowly but surely. Might as well use these guys for now. Can we hit? We can, yeah. So let's do some ground attacks there and try and soften that up. Maybe daytime, defensive, and we'll do a few days. Italy's air force is not that strong. Let's take this interceptor squadron, and I would like to try and defend as many of these sea zones as possible. We'll put them on passive stance. Is it also defending? Gotta make sure it's, yeah, we need to defend Malta as well. We can't be losing ships to port strikes. That's good. I also think it's probably a good idea at this point. Coastal commands will fly it to Gibraltar, and then we'll fly it to Malta, and we'll be able to start hitting Italian ports. It'd be good to do some port strikes good and early. on these Italian ports, because I actually want to give them time to repair them, because when I do invade, if and when I do invade Italy, I would rather not use British IC to repair those ports. These guys are slowly moving into position to... Maybe I'll strategically redeploy them, to be honest. Yeah, let's do that. Just speed things up over here. Especially now that I've moved that, there was the transport squadron there is going to move to Alexandria. So that'll free up some supplies, because eight transports eat a lot of supplies that are flowing into Kuwait. Right. And let's get moving down in Ethiopia as well. So we have a handful of units here. I think we'll probably just hold the line there for now. Although, what do we got here? Okay, we have 2 Gurkhas here. These Gurkhas are going to kind of go straight for the... Oh, we're not at war with Ethiopia yet. Let's just declare on them. So yeah, maybe I'll send that guy this way, and this guy that way. Okay, and we're going to want to very quickly, we'll attack that militia unit there, and then I want to grab that port. Although, you know what? Why don't we go like this? Oh, that's a river crossing. Yeah, let's attack from here. Grab that port. We are also going to want to send this guy maybe through here, like that. We're just trying to grab all of these ports so that the Italians cannot supply anything in Ethiopia. It's kind of a long route. It might make more sense to send this guy here. Yeah, let's do that. We can just go straight to the port. Ethiopia will fall basically as soon as these units are going to take quite some time moving through this mountainous terrain, but as soon as they can arrive at their destinations, they will seal that up quite quickly. Right. I think that's good for issuing orders, to be honest. Let's take a look at our fleets here. If I get kind of overwhelmed with all these theaters, I may automate the home fleet, although we still haven't taken care of the Bismarck and Tirpitz. I cannot see them in the production queue for Germany quite yet, but we will keep an eye on that. Speaking of the production queue, we're going to have a whole carrier squadron pop out soon. These are the CAGs for that carrier squadron. Got some infrastructure queued just to keep up our construction practical. Did I deploy like an understrength motorized brigade division? Probably. One of these guys. Maybe in Ethiopia. Oh, maybe that's for armored. Yeah, that's for armored divisions. Yep. I think, speaking of armored divisions, I think it's time to queue up some fresh ones. At least one more corps. Armored car, SB Arts. It's going to be our basic armored division until we get superior firepower. Let's build a full corps of those. Our armored practical is quite low, so we're going to need that. Even though we don't really need the armored divisions quite yet. What have I got in terms of... Okay, I've got another 3 of those, that's good. I don't want to keep churning these out almost constantly. Well, let's, I'm going to go to speed 2 and unpause. And speed 3. Probably speed 4 soon. Let's take a look at these battles, see how they're going. I've got very good leaders. Okay, first naval battle. We have to keep an eye on these naval battles, so we can pretty easily lose a big chunk of the Navy if we're not careful, even though we have much better doctrine. Yeah, so they've just sent in positioning 59%. We're getting a big positioning bonus. Let's keep an eye on these ships. Doesn't say who they're firing at. But we have three Italian battleships against 2 of ours, and We've got a bunch of, what are these? These are all light cruisers. Where is this? That's a heavy. These are heavy. You're probably gonna lose some destroyers. I think we've got some heavy cruisers in there. Yeah, it doesn't look like the. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have a battle cruiser in that squadron, but not the end of the world. Where are you going? You're going there. Okay. Probably gonna have to put some of these fleets in port after these initial skirmishes. Right, another Italian fleet. This should be. We should make easy work of that. Let's take the naval bombers and send them where we want them. They're gonna have to reorg. Probably should have done this earlier, to be honest. They're gonna have to reorg, but it would be great if we could slam some of these battleships while they're in port. How is everything going here? Good. Just gonna be kind of flipping back and forth between these different. Looks like. Alright, we're gonna lose some convoys. There's not much I can do about that now. We're not really quite equipped for. Perfect. Alright, 3 escorts down. Let's send this back to Malta for now. This is going back to port. All these ships are going back to port. Really wish that I had those. What's going on here? Nice. Oh, those are submarines. That's great. Okay, they're going back to port there. Looks like this is coming to join the battle. It's a motorized brigade for one of these armored guys. I feel like we're short one. Maybe I put 2 in one of those. Let's take a look at that stack. Oh, I see what I did. Unpause. I'll keep the game speed relatively slow right now. Okay, this carrier squadron. We don't have anything here right now, so maybe we can send it around. Probably gonna get bombed if I send it this way, but I'll send it around this way just so that I don't overlap with any. Oh, great. That's ideal. Look at that. Italian submarines are very weak. That should be another light cruiser down. We really need to get the sooner we get on top of the Italian Navy, the sooner we'll be able to use Marines and other units. It's looking pretty good. I don't know if we're going to be able to attack here. Where are you going? We can speed this up by switching out which unit goes where. That should be good. Be great if I can at least trap 2 or 3 divisions there. Italy just does not have the manpower to spare. Wow. Okay, so those are 3. This is 3 Italian battleships. They probably have about 8. I haven't been paying attention to their builds. You know what? While we're on that topic, let's do this just to give us some better visibility. We do have the radar in Malta, so if we have some spies in Italy, then that'll help a lot. Yeah, see, we deorg them right away. Looks like we took a solid stab at one of those. They are going back to port in Olbia. I want to move this. Oh, they're still in battle, technically. Okay, let's move these guys here. Just kind of cycling out these fleets. This fleet is repairing. Let's follow with this. See if I can nab that light cruiser. Probably not. What's this? Looks like a submarine to me. Having this fleet here will also give us the shore bombardment bonus, obviously. Okay, this is a good setup here. How do these guys fare? Yeah, pretty much used up all of his org. What's my yeah, air combat experience is doing quite well. Naval combat experience, sort of working our way up as well. Only disadvantage with those port strikes, the kind of trade-off is that we won't get quite as much experience. I want to take these two divisions as soon as they're ready. Speaking of, let's make sure that this is top. We need this sooner rather than later. That's perfect. So another light cruiser down. France has fallen yet or no? Not yet. Hopefully we won't have like a game crash or anything when they fall. I'm going to speed 4. Those are not in position yet. How are we doing down here? Oh, might as well do this. I'm just going to put this on interdiction. Can we just do this? Yeah, let's do interdiction, passive both. Mostly just farming air experience. Oh, I think someone commented about the trick where you hold Messina. If you hold a strait in Hearts of Iron 3, the AI will send a huge army down and try and cross the strait incessantly, which they get horrible combat penalties trying to cross the strait. So you could cheese the AI as the UK. There's a number of places you can do this. You can do it here. You can do it here. And it's a bit of an exploit. It's a hilarious exploit, and it's a great way to get like level 10 land leaders and everything very quickly. But I'm not going to do it because it's going to kind of upset the balance of this game. It can basically, holding one of these two straits can basically just destroy AI Germany and Italy, because Germany will send troops down too, and then the whole Eastern Front will fall apart just because of this this battle can go on for 2 years on that front, and you just cycle out units kind of infinitely. So yeah, I'm going to refrain from doing that, but it is good to know about anyway. Let's just move this HQ forward. That's a Marine Brigade, which is for one of these Indian divisions. First transport fleet is in Alexandria. Still, I'm reluctant to send it further in. Be really useful to have it back home because we don't have a transport squadron back home right now. Maybe I'll try and send it to Malta. Passive. Hopefully it'll make it unscathed. We're having supply issues in, probably because of that transport fleet, we're having supply issues here. Yeah, this infrastructure is really, really bad. I'm upgrading it. This infrastructure is damaged because we attacked it. So let's just wait here. Oh, I'll take a look at where we're getting hit for convoys soon. Okay, now they're attacking. They're attacking here. Let's just attack them. That's good. Really would like this unit to get supplied. Battle of Obak. Are we? Okay, we're doing good here. And that should go well. We'll take Ed in no time. Nice. Even with those shitty bombers, I don't know that we didn't really upgrade our attacks very much. Certainly didn't give them any good doctrines. He'll join the battle soon enough. That's 3 divisions and a corps. Italy just does not have the manpower to support these kinds of losses. We could also cheese them by sort of slowing our advance here and waiting for them to deploy all sorts of units, but again, it's just not necessary for us to use this kinds of quasi-exploits. Okay, they're going back to port. How are... Okay, Coastal Command is in great shape. Let's do a port strike. We have the night bomber, so we can do a continuous port strike here. See if we can nab some of those. Probably more useful to do it up here, to be honest, but don't have as good air. Oh, it's good. Maybe we can at least sink that heavy cruiser. Base can only repair 6 normally. We have defeated them in... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong base. That's what I'm doing. I'm actually hitting the wrong base. This is the one we want to hit. French fleet is still active. We're having supply issues for sure, and this will continue. We will have supply issues on this advance for sure. We can probably get some supplies sent there. Yeah, so because we captured Ed, we have the Suez Canal. This is a huge bonus. 12% leadership modifier and 6% supplies for having the Suez Canal. And that's because we're controlling this province and this province. It counts because it's allied. All these port provinces along here, and I believe that we need this one as well. So that's part of the reason I puppeted Saudi Arabia. So yeah, not entirely necessary, but I mean it's a big leadership boost. So you know, it's definitely worth it. Our land doctrines are kind of far behind right now, but Italy just sucks too much, so for it to matter. France seems to be holding out a bit, although I suspect that, yeah, they are going to fall any day now. Kind of hoping that we can seal up some of this in this episode. We need to keep these guys moving. As soon as Ethiopia falls, Italy is going to be totally out of supplies, so that's good news. What's the easiest way to do this? Yeah, probably outrun that guy there. Actually, wait a second. How long till these guys arrive? 10th of March, so it takes a few weeks for them to actually arrive in Addis Ababa. Let's probably send that guy there. Once we puppet Ethiopia, oh, there's a couple things I forgot to do. Let's, are these guys, oh, they're at war already. Okay. You have to remember to call your puppets to war, because we're going to actually use Ethiopia's army against Italy. It's partly why I really didn't send very much there. This battle's going very well. That's good. That was an air battle. Okay. Might as well get these guys some experience. Oh, I gotta keep an eye on that port striking. Careful not to exhaust these guys too much. Don't think we've sunk anything, to be honest. There's lots of ships in there, though, so we will sink something. Yeah, the subs. Oh, I don't know if we sunk that sub or if it escaped. It's hard to tell. That would be a good port to hit. I'm reluctant to hit any of these ports here because we're just going to be there. We're going to be there in no time with this motorized force. Let's start setting up. Take a look at the terrain here. We're going to need one guy there, and one guy maybe there. And we'll just move the core forward as well. It's probably going to... I'm just issuing these orders in advance. Probably going to screw things up a bit. Is this... Yeah, okay, no, there's the infrastructure's too low south, so they can't circle around us, which is good. Everything's looking good. It's a fairly large navy, the Italian navy. Like, there's a lot on what is that, Sardinia? There's a lot of stuff based in Sardinia right now. Fall of France. As usual, the game momentarily freezes. Our finest hour gives us a strategic warfare penalty of -50 and an air intercept efficiency of 25%. If you play as the Germans and you're having trouble winning the Battle of Britain, this is likely why. See, it lasts until the end of this year, so that's good. Keep an eye out for the French fleet event as well. Just ripping through more of their... Destroy the French fleet. Very interesting historical event that when France fell, the Churchill very soon afterwards. Well, France capitulated, right? And part of the agreement between France and Britain was that neither country would capitulate unless both came to a common agreement on capitulation, and France kind of flouted that. Now, given how quickly France failed, it was probably the right thing to do in a number of ways for France to capitulate, because the losses of civilian life and all sorts of could have been really grim. So it's, I don't know whether it was the right thing to do, but it was an understandable decision to capitulate for France by the time they did. But as a result of them, I mean, Churchill, first of all, had thought that the French fleet, which had some modern battleships and stuff, battleships, battle cruisers, a fairly modern navy overall, kind of third or fourth in the world, almost as powerful as Italy's navy, and the Churchill was very worried that Hitler would not maintain Vichy France's neutrality, and he would make use of that navy. And I think he probably would have. So they ordered an attack on the French fleet, which was stationed Mers El Kabir. Where is that province? Mers. Oh, that's not the right. I wanted to. This is the button I wanted. Close that. That's funny. It's not on the map, but it's somewhere in Algeria. And so maybe it's just spelled differently. Doesn't look like it. No. Anyway, so they sent the British Mediterranean fleet to open fire on the French fleet, and some of the French ships capitulated and joined with the British, but some of them refused because they'd just been told that they were capitulating and that they weren't fighting the war anymore. So they did actually kill several thousand French soldiers, the British, in the Mediterranean, and it created a bit of a diplomatic scandal. Roosevelt famously said that he would have done the same thing years later, some years later. Oh yes, another interesting historical event. I've actually kind of skipped over a lot of these, mostly the ones concerning Germany, because a lot of people play this game as Germany, not so many as the UK. But destroyers for bases. So this is the United States. This is kind of part of the transfer of power, really, imperial power between the British Empire and the United States, and the British Empire gave basing rights for all sorts of bases, mostly in the Caribbean, but also in Newfoundland and Bermuda and all that, in exchange for a bunch of outdated destroyers, basically. And it's kind of an interesting choice. The destroyers were of very little use historically. They needed they were in very bad shape, and they needed a lot of upgrades to be any use for anti-submarine warfare and the like. But I think it was more of a diplomatic decision. I think that Churchill saw the destroyers for bases agreement as a way to, basically build relations with the United States. Let's send this here. Ooh, fleet repairing here? Yeah, this fleet is repaired. Third battle fleet. What's going on over here? I don't see... Okay, Italy's about to finish a battleship. So that's somewhat disconcerting. Probably have more battleships in the Mediterranean and better battleships than we do, to be perfectly honest. But I'm not worried. We've got much better naval doctrines. I'm just going to put this out here. Oh, we lost the effects of the Suez Canal. That's because Vichy France took this port, which is normal. We'll get it back very soon. I don't want to declare on Vichy France quite yet, but we will in very short order. We will not be waiting long to declare war on Vichy France. Okay, what do we have here? A bunch of transports. They are trying to either invade Malta or reinforce North Africa. So we can probably kill a bunch of divisions by sinking them. We've still waiting for them to arrive in Addis Ababa. This is probably going to that port. Okay. Everything's in pretty good shape. This fleet is repairing. Let's check on those naval bombers. I really should not be leaving these unattended. I think we're probably sunk something. Let's take a look. Money for fuel, whatever. Let's take a look in the outliner and see what we sunk. Just look at the sinker name here. It will tell us. It will tell us if our naval bombers sink anything. Doesn't look like it. I haven't sunk anything too valuable yet. However, I might try and accelerate this a bit. Maybe we'll just do both. We'll do day and night port strikes for some time. Once again, preventing them from either invading Malta or reinforcing North Africa. I don't know if these submarines are actually doing anything. If anything, they'll just scout. Be nice to send a fleet up here. No. Everything is slowly advancing. Definitely need to get back to that port so that they can't resupply. As soon as these guys take Addis Ababa, things will wrap up very quickly in the East Africa theater. For the time being, it's a bit of a game of cat and mouse. Money for fuel. How are we looking in Persia? I think we can probably attack Persia at this point. Our forces are getting very scattered, but I'm not worried. Just take their oil, take their resources. Take a look at this terrain here. This is not ideal terrain for motorized divisions, but I think we're just trying to. With speed is more important at this point than. I'm going to send 2 Gurkhas to the capital. We have to be a little bit careful not to get our supply lines cut off. We can get encircled in this terrain, but yeah, I'll try and. This guy's going to try and rush and grab all these victory points. This one's going to run over here. In fact, let's do this and then send that one there afterwards, so we don't forget about him. It's going to be very slow going through the mountains, and yeah, and then we'll move back down there. The Iraq army will be of some use. They will prevent Persia from making inroads into the Middle East and stuff. Even though they're not very well trained, the Iraqis. But okay, that's the American destroyer fleet. Let's just merge those into the reserve fleet, where they will probably spend the rest of the game, unless I lose a bunch in Italy. Advanced aircraft design. That's good news. Do we have the more advanced radar yet? No. Okay, we're waiting on radar 2, and then we can start getting some radar for our aircraft. Yeah, this is working out quite nicely. It's only been about I mean, a month since I unpaused the game, and we are already halfway, well, nearly halfway across the desert. Oh, I do have to pay attention to these. They're in good shape. Not really being intercepted, to be honest. Oh, that's good. Oof. There we go. One battleship down. These port blockades work really well. They're definitely working very well. I am going to... So we've got this... There's the only... They have to pass through our battle fleets to send ships this way. I would like to... I think it's... I don't know. I think it's a bit pushy, actually, to send a fleet up here because we have just no air cover whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like this and then move this guy here. Carrier squadrons can kind of defend themselves in terms of air cover, but you don't want them to get repeatedly bombed. CAG duty is not particularly effective defending against naval bombers, so... Oh, let's see what's happened here. Let's see as well. These guys are probably out of range of anything right now. Yeah. I'm not going to move them forward because we will exhaust our supply very quickly. However, no harm in doing some ground attacks here. That's fine. Having supply issues once again. Hopefully we won't come to a complete halt. I could start manually handling those supplies for sure. That would help. But it's probably just not worth the hassle of reassigning everything afterwards, to be honest. We get slowed down a bit by supply, that's just how it is. God, this takes forever. 10th of March, should be tomorrow. And then it'll take another 24 hours for them to actually capitulate. Yeah, see, without any detachments, without any combined arms, these units are not very strong. Just want to get a little bit more experience. There's a fair amount of troops down there, a fair amount of manpower anyway, not very high quality troops. Lost the Battle of Benghazi, what happened there? Oh, air battle. Okay. Let's cancel those orders. Okay, what are we hitting here? This is... These guys are getting bombed, I think, mostly. That's not a big deal. Let's take a look at our air. Everything's in pretty good shape, to be honest. We can take a look here. Let's attach this to the Mediterranean fleet. And in terms of air, where did I put those? Home Defense Command. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this is silliness. Maybe we'll try and hit Dusseldorf again. When in doubt, bomb Dusseldorf. Okay, we've taken Addis Ababa. This is like our own British version of Blitzkrieg, basically. What do I want to do here? I don't want him to move there. You can hold that all by your lonesome. Okay, Ethiopia has been puppeted. Let's give them a call to arms. So they are going to turn against their former Italian overlords. The British were quite successful at doing this historically, by the way. They needed no help from the United States or any allies really to wrap this up. They were quite successful at I mean, there were skirmishes going on for several years in East Africa, but they were quite successful at chasing the Italians out of East Africa. Quite successful, really, all things considered, in the Western Desert in Libya as well. The only reason they didn't mop this up quicker was that they were sending a lot of resources to they sent them to Cyprus and Crete and Greece, and the fleet in the Mediterranean got quite diluted in terms of its effectiveness. So yeah, had they really focused their efforts in this theater and on the defense of Malta, they probably would have done quite a lot better for themselves and been in a position to counterattack Italy much more quickly. Part of the reason, of course, was that Churchill felt that at the time the United States were not in the war, and I think Churchill felt that if he showed that the British were fighting kind of on all fronts, they were landing in Greece and trying to hold the line in Greece, which all of his military commanders told him was not going to work. There was just no way to effectively make a difference in the Balkans and in Greece. Basically, I think he felt that it was worth the cost. It was worth the military cost to so to have Britain be seen as helping in more areas, and he felt that the American public would have an easier time being convinced, would be more easily convinced that Britain was successful, basically. Okay, that's our first rocket test site. I like to keep these in the queue because they build up the rocket practical, just for kicks, but I will put them down because they are definitely low priority. And I will throw rocket engine in the queue just for kicks. Who knows? Maybe we'll get those. Maybe we'll get some jet fighters by the end of the war or something. Looks like our production queue is. Oh, no, it's just because the rockets popped off. What's our electrical? Yeah, that's good. Just by building those 2 radar stations, we've got this at 6.7. That really speeds up a lot of techs. Even if you don't feel like you need radar, it's always worth it. I should have done that, selected both at once. Now we're going to have to wait till that other unit joins. That's fine. Unfortunately, there's no fleet there. Also, we didn't really trap very much. However, it's the principle. I want to be encircling these before we... Okay, let's move them right up there. Keep everything moving forward. How are we doing here? Okay, Norway debate. I said I would pay attention to Norway and then promptly didn't. Germany has not attacked Norway, which is strange. They also have not attacked the Low Countries. This is a very strange playthrough, to be honest. I suspect they will at some point, to be honest. I suspect they will. But yeah, I'm not sure if some of my diplomatic stuff has discouraged them from doing so. The Norway debate, Churchill, one of Churchill, quite... Well, this is... So they actually invaded France. They conquered France quite a lot earlier than they did historically. I think it was summer 1940, the capitulation of France. One of the things that France and Britain had sort of schemed to do was to invade, actually, and occupy Norway in response to the Soviet attack in Finland, the Winter War. And their goal was to both block potential German access to the North Sea via Norway, and also to kind of block the Soviet Union as well. It was a very ambitious plan and probably ill-conceived. Germany, of course, invaded Norway by air first, and the British... This is where the British fleet really showed its age, in the sense that they had a much superior naval force to the German Navy, but they were unable to provide sufficient air cover for troops and for the Navy in the North Sea. So it was a very costly operation, and they ended up evacuating the Norwegian ports and leaving them to the Germans. On the other hand, though, you can make fun of the British and French for the Norway debacle all you want, but the reality is that Germany lost about 75% of its fleet in invading Norway. It was probably not worth the loss for Germany. So in some ways it was an Allied loss. In some ways it was in some practical ways it was really an Allied victory. It was absolutely ridiculous for Germany to try and hold this territory without a proper navy. And there was no need. Norway probably would not have joined the war on the side of the Allies. They were a neutral country. They probably would have stayed neutral as long as they possibly could. So it was a real waste of resources for Germany, and probably a waste of resources for the Allies as well. Yeah. So Halifax is going to speak first, and Churchill's going to be prime minister. Winston is back. Just take a look at politics here. Make sure there's nothing stupid going on. Yeah, looks good to me. Cruiser practical decay is good. Great. Did we deploy? I need to build some more modern destroyers, I think, at some point. What do we got here? Let's keep an eye on that. I didn't pay attention to our strategic bombing campaign there, so hopefully I didn't lose anything. Definitely need to be slamming these ports more, but we're doing a lot of damage. Without a doubt, I can tell that the strategic bomber command. Yeah, okay, well, just as well. We almost definitely did some damage here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, great, awesome. That's worth it. We are harassing the Germans in every way we possibly can. That's the idea. Let's wait till these guys catch up. Wait till this guy catches up. Very, very slow going in the desert. Even with those, even with the armored car brigades, it's always going to be slow going. No way around it. And this is going quite well, though. A little bit worried about losing that province and having them cut our supplies, but we can always yeah, we've also got Saudi Arabia's 2 or 3 divisions moving in. You can see that Oman's divisions are also working their way over towards the front. So Persia should fall quite quickly, sinking lots of Italian transports. That's costing them a lot. If they're losing divisions with those transports sinking, then that's grim news for Italy. I'm gonna go speed 5. Okay, Germany just conquered Luxembourg. I assume they'll attack. I assume that they will attack the rest of the Low Countries, if they haven't already. No. I don't need to buy fuel. We need to pay attention here a little bit with our... We're probably going to start to... Yeah, we're really running out of convoys, so I'm going to have to do some manual convoy control. And possibly build some, although if I can avoid that for as long as possible. Let's switch things up a bit here. You can go there, and let's see if we can actually hit patrol here and get rid of those subs. Italian subs are quite easy to hit. Yeah, I'm going to go speed 5 for a bit. See if we can speed up this process. That's excellent. Anti-submarine for the destroyers. First battlefield, Gulf of Taranto. Definitely getting hit a lot here, but we are just ripping them to shreds as well. What's going on with these guys? By about next episode, I'm going to start to be putting certain things on AI control, so that we're not constantly flipping back and forth. But I think especially for the first little bit of this gameplay, I think it's fun to watch. What else have we sunk? I'm not seeing. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a light cruiser, another light cruiser. Yeah, that our relentless, almost like daily port strikes of what is this, Regia de Calabria, are definitely chewing through the Italian Navy. Just got to keep an eye on, make sure that these are not getting intercepted. But honestly, I don't think they are. I don't think they are. Do have to watch that we don't get cut off. Alright, that's a radar advance. So this is big news. I'm not particularly concerned about the large air search radar. The night attack is probably worth it. You know what? I'll do all 3 of these. But I'm probably not going to keep upgrading this one, and I'm probably not going to research this at all. The 0.5 of surface detection is just not worth it. But we might as well give a small boost to our strategic bombers for sure. Oh, what's going on down here? Okay, at this point we can turn this one back. Let's just try and clean this all up. Do we have... Oh yeah, there's the 7th. As soon as I'm pretty confident that the Italians are out of Ethiopia, I'll just let the Ethiopian army mop up the rest of those provinces. I just need them not to have a port, because I'm going to want to redeploy those forces as quickly as possible elsewhere. Probably our next goal is going to be to mop up Vichy France. We are defending there, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. This fleet is somewhat vulnerable. Whatever, that's fine. Are we ready to go here? Okay, let's move forward. We're going to try and get across the deserts. Okay. I think that's good. I think we've missed any provinces there. Just want to make sure that they don't we don't leave divisions behind. There we go. I'll have to move this guy after, otherwise he'll... But that'll get us in position to take that next Italian naval base. Ah, the HMS Illustrious. Very good news. Yeah, we are just cutting through the Italians like butter. I think at this point... Did I... Oh, what happened to those transport ships? We need to send this transport fleet here. We absolutely need to deploy the Army of India as soon as possible. Should be perfectly safe to move there. Ships are kind of getting a little bit chewed up, but that's okay. Awesome. Yep. Yeah, this is where we see the limitations of our air cover and our ability to deploy navies in the Pacific. We really don't have the resources to do a lot of anti-submarine warfare in the Mediterranean right now. Take some of these fleets down later, but for the time being... Are they getting bombed here? Probably a little bit. No, not so bad. We will need to be redistributing some naval forces. We will do that off camera next episode. Awesome. Well, that's some more German. Oh, great. That is the Bismarck and possibly the Tirpitz. Well, keep an eye on that. They've managed to deploy their naval forces here. I'm not going to port strike the these North French ports because I find that the German Air Force is too strong. We can do a lot of damage to our naval bombers very quickly. Not the Italians, though. Awesome. Now that was just a whole slew of Italian ships. As soon as we sink a handful more of their battleships, most likely... Are we still port striking them? I think so. Yeah. We're very low on org, though. That's okay. We're definitely still hitting them. Awesome. Well, that's it for the Admiral Scheer. Maybe we can do this. Cycle that out. Yeah, probably worth putting it there. Looking good. All we've got is those three. Looks like a heavy cruiser, and I'm hoping that both the Bismarck and the Tirpitz are there. There's really nothing left of the Grease Marine. They're building more subs, lots more subs. So that's kind of a good thing to keep in mind. We will have another wave of subs to get rid of. That's a fairly big fleet. We're gonna hit there again. Yep, we're basically blockading the Italian fleet at this point. They're badly damaged, and whenever they leave the port, they get hit pretty nasty. So, by the way, this port striking business. Oof, we need to put these in the queue. All these ones, like even this one, port strike organization penalty and all that, they really help. If we had another round of this tech, our naval bombers would be doing a better job of actually sinking stuff in these port strikes. But we're not doing so bad. Okay, this is a bit of a risky battle here. We've got three. Oh, it's fine. They've got their positioning is better. Let's move this up so it can intercept. Oof, yeah, nasty. However, okay, we lost a destroyer flotilla. Let's put this back in port. Move you up here. I'm going to take the American destroyer flotillas. Look at that, they're actually going to get some use. And we'll take this old light cruiser as well, send it down to the Mediterranean. I'm just going to call this Med Reserve for now. That's a good naval leader, we should put him somewhere else. But not such a bad thing to have him in here for now. Hopefully that won't get attacked on its way, but if it does, it has a good leader. Have I hit any subs over here? No. Hopefully we'll catch... It would be really nice if we could catch those battleships again. We only lost one. I mean, acting as though we just like lost a bunch of ships or something, but we lost. Oops, we lost one level 1 destroyer or something. Just ripping through them. That's good. Destroyer main armament. I need to get these in the queue. Been lagging on this, and that's important. Put that at the top of the queue. After what we have in the queue right now, let's just do that for now. I'm gonna kind of put a moratorium on naval upgrades for the time being. As soon as these are done, we're gonna make sure our land forces are up to date, and our air force. It's become progressively more useful. We may not do any more naval research for the rest of the game, to be honest. We may not need any, unless it's another round of carriers. but I don't see the point in researching 1942 carriers unless I think I'm still gonna be fighting Japan in like 1945, which I might. But yeah, you don't need to have state-of-the-art navies when you have the numerical superiority of the British, of the Royal Navy. Oh, that's good. Are these guys still doing a port strike? Yeah. Good. Probably starting to run out of. Oh yeah, we're running out of convoys. So at the beginning of next episode, I will do some manual convoy assignment for sure. That's good. I'm a little bit nervous about this. This is a very, very thin supply line here. However, this is a port province, so we can supply them directly there. Okay. Not so worried after all. Good news on all fronts. There's no point in waiting here. Let's just move forwards. Let's move you. Where's the fourth one? Oh god, all the way back there. So you're gonna go there. You're gonna go. No. Here. You're gonna go here. And yeah, I think that's about it. Move him there just so no one can escape. There's no escape. This is why these garrisons are useful. Oh, we got the Persian Gulf effect. Yes, that's because we took that port. So again, research efficiency 10% and supply throughput 10%. That's huge. It's really, really worth it to invade Persia. I'm hoping this unit can actually hold that port. Definitely need to. And they may try and go back and grab those victory points again, but not the end of the world. Just need to get that capital right. Oof. Nice. I think we're getting naval bombed. Wow, they didn't lose that battleship. Yeah, we were definitely getting hit there. What are you doing? Oh yeah. Yeah, we're fine. Totally fine. And we've basically wiped out all of Italy's colonies. Yeah, it's looking like it. Let's move you here so we can quickly grab that port. Everyone else, strategically redeploy. How long till you actually get there? I don't care. I'm moving him back. No, let's do that. I don't think it's worth taking these provinces. I don't see any Italian units. This guy is useless where he is. This guy as well can go here. Maybe we'll just merge those all together at this point. Let's do some ground attacks. Yeah, okay, well, maybe not. We lost the Battle of Tripoli. Weird. Did someone attack Tripoli? Oh, it was an air battle. Okay, you go there, and you go there. I'm going to take Tripoli, and then I'm going to end this episode. Just keep an eye on what's going on in Persia. Just attack. we're not guaranteed to win this battle. It's very rough terrain. Urban terrain is not the easiest. That's good. We're good for light cruisers for now. Do I have more in the queue? I've got 2 more in the queue. They're getting attacked. No, they're attacking. No, they're being attacked. Okay. That's hilarious. They're like deorging what little defense they have left. Is this blockaded? No. It's a bad oversight. Wow, okay. We don't have anything that's in good shape, to be honest. Let's take him, put him there. This one can go there. I always have to have a fleet in this province. Very, very, very important. Otherwise Malta can be invaded, and we can't have that. I don't want to have to reinforce Malta or anything. That, you know, that garrison. All it takes is one or 2 units for them to attack Malta. And Malta is the linchpin of British success in the Mediterranean, for sure. I'm gonna line up some naval construction. It's to be honest, I need to get this officer ratio up, and then I need to catch up in tech. So we're not going to be expanding the army very much. We've built up the army of India. We've built actually what I feel is probably enough of an army to invade Italy, or at least to establish a defensive line somewhere in the south of Italy. But I don't sorry, I don't see us building any more army for the next year or 2. Because I need to use, I can't be pumping leadership into officers like this. I need to be catching up on my doctrines and tech, so that when we finally face the Wehrmacht, can I? Yeah, let's just take this guy here. Where is it? Coastal commands. You still are port striking. That's good. Interceptors. I'm just gonna do this. Well, he's done an admirable job. Alright, let's attack. Bismarck and Tirpitz. Awesome. Well, Bismarck and Tirpitz are no good against even our outdated courageous class carriers. Oof. Nice. They are going to be out of commission for many months. And they didn't even put a dent in us. Yep, they're stuck in port. Awesome. Well, if I need to, you know what? I think it's worth it. Let's see if we can nip that threat in the bud. Port strike. Passive should be good. Come on. Just got to keep an eye out. They will intercept us at some point. Although it's not looking so bad, to be honest. Come on. Just want to sink both of them. Right. That's aircraft carrier upgrades. Another big stack of Italian transports. Oh, those were German. Where did that happen? Ooh. Are they trying to... They're probably not trying to invade me. So I guess I didn't even notice them invading the Low Countries, which is kind of ridiculous. They're trying to invade Norway. Yeah. Okay. we will mount a defense of Norway next episode. Let me just do something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really, what we need to defend Norway is just some port garrisons. But we might deploy these Marines there temporarily before we deploy them to the Mediterranean. One of them is sunk. Yeah, it's both. I'm happy with that. And I think we're going to call it with that. So, lots of stuff happened this episode. We have swept the Italians. We've taken all of their colonial possessions, their overseas possessions. We've puppeted Ethiopia. We sunk the Bismarck and the Tirpitz, which means that the North Sea is ours for the rest of the war. We have done a huge amount of damage to Italy's navy. And yeah, that's we're in very good shape. Next episodes we'll be looking at dealing with the French colonial possessions that are currently administered by Vichy France, and that will kind of wrap up the Mediterranean. We're also going to be deploying the Army of India so that we can defend some of these more vital areas down here. But yeah. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, please like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.